Okay, let's see here. Okay. All right. So with this one, this is this is obviously not your first chart. It's a chart of the moment, meaning you have asked the stars, you've asked the heavens to give you an answer to your question, um, which was should I start working with Akashic records? Here you are represented, and this is for you as well. I'm doing this to the details of how horary charts are read. You are the querent represented by Jupiter. Jupiter rules your descendant here. So you see how it's different from natal astrology. Jupiter rules, you are represented by Jupiter because of Sagittarius here. And your query was about Akashic records. That has to do with, double check here. It was more about learning, right?
Well, yeah, learning to work with and actually maybe, I don't know, I felt drawn to them. Like,
Okay.
I don't know why.
Was it for, did you feel that it was more about helping others with the world or more for self, like your interest? Like it's just cool, it's interesting, it's
Like everything always starts with myself, but then I use it to help others. Does that make sense?
okay. Okay. Let's start simple with the third house. Um, well, it's elementary education. Let's go. Actually, no, that's wrong. The ninth house. Visions, dreams, affairs, church impression. Higher learning. I don't know if this is really higher learning. I feel like this is more to do with the 10th house because it's tied to your um it's tied to the public, right?
Which one is?
It's tied to the public. Uh, let's do the 10th house and let's do the 11th house. Just want to make sure I get the right one here. Okay, so this is still practice for me. Okay, good. Yeah, 10th and 11th house. So with the 10th house, this is your question, one of them at least, or it could be 10th or 11th. But with the 10th house, it's in Libra, ruled by Venus. So we go into Venus here. You are Jupiter and there's Venus. Now, is there a connection between Jupiter and Venus? No, there isn't. There are no aspects to them. So we wouldn't go to um, Venus here. We would go actually to the moon. But is there a connection? The moon is in horary astrology, the, what was it called? It's the other thing that is tied to the query. So there's no connection between Jupiter and the moon. So that means, um, what is this here? Um, but I'm wondering if it's Mercury. Hmm. I'm going to move on to the 11th house here. It's in Scorpio. The cusp of the 11th house is Scorpio. Let's go to Mars. It's a traditional ruler. No connection to Jupiter. So we go to Pluto. Is there a connection between Pluto and Jupiter? No, there isn't. Unless uh, if this is the third house, which is ruled by Pisces, let me double check first. It does say elementary education, but communication, technically that still falls around Akashic record. It's a form of technically communication. You remember that orrery is very literal, but how we can interpret that in terms of like what house to look for, because that's how orrery works. We look for the houses that represent the query or the question and the querent. We already know that you're the ascendant and the query is multiple things. So it's Akashic records. Um, let's try this one. So their traditional ruler Pisces, the cusp of the third house is Pisces. Traditional ruler is Jupiter. Modern ruler is Neptune. There is a link between Jupiter and Neptune. However, it's a square. The square signifies, um, I don't want to say, let me double check here. They say no. That's that's one answer to your question. However, I want to keep going though. I feel like there's something else here. Um, could be that it's not that's not the right time. The reason you're getting a no. Okay. Uh, there's something else that I'm missing here. Is there any other reason you would use the? How do you feel about the reason why you're interested in, like, go with the feeling? Like, why do you feel you're drawn to it?
I feel like something there that I'm supposed to know, like learn and know.
Okay. In what way?
In like a way that it's like a missing piece of the puzzle. It'll once I figure it out, it'll all fall into place.
Is it something to do with secrets? You wanted to know certain secrets? Is something revealing like that?
Not specific. There's not a specific one. It's just like like
But it is still pertaining to secrets, like
it's a
knowledge.
pull. Yeah, it's a pull to something because something's veiled. Like
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff I feel has been veiled, and it continues to stay veiled.
Okay. Well, the 12th house is still ruled here, and in the cusp is still in Scorpio. We went through Mars and we went to Pluto. There is no link to Jupiter with that. So the closest one that has come up um, is Neptune here. Okay. But if we were to look at the moon, which is actually interesting, which is the query itself also, and we looked at 11th house and the 12th house, which still pertain to the Akashic records here in this question, square the moon. It's still a square. The answer is no. So you're getting a lot of no's. There are two no's already. So this could signify that it's not the right time. Does that make sense? Okay.
Okay.
So it's not that it's not like a forever no, but yeah, you feel
So
pulled to it, but yeah,
are you looking for a line to come out of the 10th or the 11th house to something?
no, I'm not looking for it. It's already there. So we don't count the midheaven, by the way, in Horary. Midheaven, any ascent, any aspects to the midheaven. I should have taken those off actually. Those do not count. Um, I forgot to take them off, but that's how it is. So it's very direct, like in terms of like where things go. Um, your question was basically a yes or no question. You're getting a no twice. So, but that doesn't mean it's forever. So if you want to pose a question to the charts again, I know this is kind of disappointing, maybe, um, but yeah,
And how do
could
you
it
get
be?
it as a no? Is it? No, I'm just trying to understand how you read the chart. That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh,
So like,
okay,
it doesn't matter to me like whether it's a yes or a no. You know what I mean? Like that
okay,
part doesn't. I, yeah, Jose, you gotta understand. Almost every read that I get, it's always veiled and unknown. It doesn't matter who does the read. Everything that they try to read for is veiled. Everything they try to read for is unknown. It's like literally, I just have to walk around in the dark.
okay. Hmm,
So the no doesn't no, it doesn't really bother me much. But how
okay,
do you come to a no from it going? I'm assuming you're looking at the red line going from the moon to
that's correct.
Pluto.
That's correct because in Horary astrology, the moon is. I'm just going to help you use the terminology here. Okay, just going to give you the term here. The moon is called. What is this one here? Is considered the co-ruler of the question or the query. Okay, so when there's no answer to when the query is there's no aspect to the query, the planet that represents the query or question, um, we go to the moon, and that's what gave me the answer here, squared. But when I was looking at um, Jupiter, which represents you because of the ascendant, in Horary astrology we use rulers, so signs and their rulers. That's how we get it. So Jupiter is represents you because that's the ascendant, and the query was several things. We weren't sure what it was yet, so I said 10th house, 11th house, 12th house, and third house were the options.
Right? No. How do you get me as over
Jupiter.
here under Sagittarius?
That's just how it is in Horary.
Okay, so it just comes
Yeah,
up.
you are the
So my
querent. That's right. If you're the one asking the question, you're the ascendant. If you're asking for somebody else, you become the querent is descendant, but you're not asking for somebody else. You are asking for yourself.
okay, so the sign that it's actually in doesn't matter.
Yes, it does, because that's how you determine what planet to look for. And typically in Orary, we use traditional rulers. But in
But I
this
don't
book that
have
I'm using,
so but what I'm saying is like so when you pull up because that's underneath Sagittarius, but I'm Aquarius.
no, this is not your chart. This is the
Okay.
chart of the chart that's right now.
Okay.
That's why when I drew it, I got the time when I understood your question. That's when I drew up the chart. And it's at my location because it's not anyone's birth chart. It's just where the astrologer is getting it. Does that
Okay.
make sense? Because it's kind of like
Yep. No, that's what I
I'm
was
the
just
vessel,
wondering.
kind of like that. Yeah, yeah, that's how it works. So yeah, so several planets that represents the questions. There was either Neptune, Pluto, Mars had no connection to Jupiter, so we excluded that. There's nothing there. It technically could also have been Venus, but there's no connection to Venus and Jupiter, nor does it have any connection to the moon, which is the co-ruler of the query or question. So we skip Venus. But we did have connections between Neptune and Jupiter and Pluto and Moon. Both are saying no because of the squares.
So is it because it makes a square?
A square is a 90-degree
Okay,
difference.
that's what I was asking. Yep. That's
Yeah.
what I was asking because it makes a
Mhm.
square. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Like
it's
a
literal.
Yes,
Yep,
that's correct. Yeah. Yeah.
that's all. Yeah, okay.
hmm hmm So there you go. That's that. I'm still learning orary, so it's just some. There's more to learn here. There's stuff about contests, compounds, universal stuff, marriages, buying and selling property, moving, surgery dates, starting business, conception, fertility. But because horary is also called electional astrology, they're similar, but I'm not in the electional side yet. By electional, I mean choosing. I'm not getting it yet. There's a weird one. It's a weird thing. I don't know yet. I'm not there yet. I'm still in the basic RRE section, but so there you go.
All right.
So, um, yeah, if you do ask the same question next time, wait about 3 months.
Okay.
Okay. So, but any additional questions you want answered on, particularly with not necessarily the same thing? Is there any additional questions you have?
Mm,
You could do that to this one.
off the same chart? Like, what do you mean judicial chart
If there
questions?
any, and if anything that's kind of related to where you want to head, where you want to go to, where you're going and all that stuff. I don't know if that makes sense. Like for example, any other thing that's concerning you. Because technically it's the same energy you're giving me with this one, right? Now, the question I wanted to ask before you answer that, have you been looking into Akashic records in the first place?
Yes.
Okay, so you've made an effort to look into it. That's good. So that counts. So that means it's same energy. So do you have an additional question?
Mm, well, I was looking like, because I was trying to figure out something to do, like career wise too.
Okay, that's Venus.
Trying to figure something out that's more stable.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we get. What's the question?
But I don't know. Like, I could be, well, I'm going to apply to be a volunteer paid volunteer firefighter.
Okay.
So I don't know.
What what is that
Ask it.
for what is that more towards a career vocation or is it just a job?
See, I think it'd probably just be a job
Okay.
that I'd probably like. You know what I mean? But
Okay. So that could be Taurus. It's still Venus right here. Because of Taurus right here. That's the sixth house. Let me double check that. Yep. Conditions relating to employment, including job changes. Okay. Yep. So, but Venus has no connection to this one. So it's weird. I feel like no, not with this chart, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Because if I look at it, the only aspect line to Jupiter is to Neptune here. So
what
it wouldn't be
what
in
does
this
that
chart.
mean?
It just means that it's the only aspect. That's the only thing. Aspects determine what the answer to the question is. Or not so much what, but if it answers the question. Yes, no, maybe like a when question. If it's like a when question, that's how it is. Yeah. So I feel like it's not really with this chart. There's something else that needs to happen. We need to draw up another chart. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, no problem. Because if you have a question that you ask, it's not necessarily pertaining to this, but it's slightly different. You could still ask it as long as you have made an effort to do something about it, or something related to, like, someone asking, for example, again, I said this before, if they haven't been looking for a job and they're asking, will I find a job? That's like, right? So,
Right.
mhm. So it'd have to be another chart. Now that I'm looking at it. So
Okay.
stop sharing. So I hope that helps. I'm going to stop the video here.